In this video, I'm going to show you how to leverage the hash function to protect data that contains personally identifiable information, also known as PII. We'll begin by importing the necessary libraries and loading a dataset that includes names and addresses. Now, in the name of privacy, I want to reassure you that this dataset is simulated to represent sensitive information and does not represent real persons. Okay, with that said, let's dive in. So I'm going to run these two cells right here. And as you can see, we have data that includes name and address information here. This information is stored as a string, and you might notice that the first two rows of data are duplicated. This is actually on purpose, and we'll show you why in just a second. To safeguard our sensitive information, we'll use the hash method in Polars. This will convert our data into hashed values and make it difficult to retrieve the original data. Okay, so let's scroll down just a little bit and open up this section here, and let's talk through what's going on. So we're selecting the two columns, the name and the address column, and then we're applying the hash function to it. And we're just doing a basic example for right now, so we're not really going to pass any parameters. We're just going to kind of go with the defaults here. But we do want to alias these columns so that we can see them side by side with our original data frame. So let's go ahead and run this. And I need to scroll up just a little bit so we can see it. Okay, so as you can see in the output, the last two columns have been hashed into unique identifiers. Take note of the first two rows where the information is the same. You'll notice that the hash returns the same values, which is exactly what we wanted to have happen. And now you know why we had those duplicates. Now let's take this one step further by introducing something called a seed. Seeds allow us to consistently hash data, ensuring that the input data is always hashed the same way. We've actually already used this concept. In the last example, we did not specify a seed, but Polars defaulted to using seed number 0. Perhaps you're okay with the default seed, but you can and probably should use a different seed, and so we're going to show you that next. So we're going to scroll down and just expand this next section here. And you're going to see very much the same code that we used before. The only difference here is we're now using the seed parameter, and we're passing in 42 as our seed. Okay, so now that we have our seed set, let's go ahead and run this. And I do need to scroll up yet again. If you scroll up to the rest of the notebook, you'll see that the hash values are now different, but it does still produce consistent results. We could run this code over and over and over again and still get the exact same hash that we have right here. And this is how you ensure reproducibility in your data pipelines. For even more layers of security, you can actually specify up to 4 seeds. This concept is called seed stacking, or at least that's what I'm calling it. The hash function will pass through each seed sequentially and then scramble the data for better security. In essence, it just makes it that much harder for someone to unhash your data. So let's go ahead and expand this next section here, and let's talk through the changes that we're making to the code. So we're carrying over that first seed of 42, and then we're actually adding in another seed. And the first parameter, the first next seed you can add is called seed 1, and so that's what we've done here. And again, this is basically going to sequentially go through the seeds and apply a more complicated hash. So let's go ahead and run this. Okay, and again, we get hashed values, and this was done through the seed stacking, so those hashes have changed, and we have once again made it more complicated for this data to be unhashed. I do want to bring up one important note that I found in the Polars documentation, and so I'm just going to quote that here. It says, quote, "The implementation of hash does not guarantee stable results across different Polars versions. Its stability is only guaranteed within a single version." Okay, and so that is to say that the unique identifiers calculated in one version may not create the same unique identifiers in another version. Now, I've personally tested this on a couple of different versions, and it appears to be consistent on the ones that I've checked. But according to the Polars dev team, this will not always be the case. So just be aware of that when you're updating to a new version of Polars. Okay, so in this demonstration, we've shown how easy it is to hash sensitive data, but there are many other use cases for this function in Polars, including securing passwords, simplifying complex data for machine learning, reducing data size, and much more. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop them in the chat below, and we'll catch up with you at the next one.